Hello and welcome. You're watching Cricbuzz Comm Box at the end of the 10 overs of Australia's innings. With me, Ashish Nehra. Welcome, Ashish.
Thank you.
Let's have a look at where Australia are at the end of 10 overs. Now, how they started with that innings from Cam Green, a 19-ball 50, 21-ball 52. They were 56 in the first 4 overs. And then the next 6 would yield only 30 runs. You'd say India pulled things back very well?
Oh yeah, definitely. And for that, you have to pick wickets. And that's what exactly India did. And Cameron Green, again, what a start. You know, like when you talk about putting up a big total on the board, the guy like Cameron Green, your opener, you know, the way he bats, he has to fire. He did. But once he got out, India pulled it back and very nicely. But I'll still say, you know, when Australia lost 2 wickets, then you have people like Maxwell, when you have people like Steve Smith. Steve Smith is a different player, but Maxwell, this is a bigger ground, you know, and wicket, you can see it's a good wicket. There's bounce to hit, but you have to be, you know, little set. And when you talk about a guy like Chahal, when you talk about like guy like Akshar Patel, they are not going to give it that easy once the circle is open. So I would say, great start by Australia, but they couldn't capitalize on that, and credit goes to Indian bowlers.
It does. But what that platform has done is, even the batters who are in right now, Tim David and Josh Inglis, as you were saying right before we started, you said, if these two can bat sensibly, they still have 180 on the inside.
But see, in T20, anybody, you know, like any one batter can do the job. But now somebody like Tim David, you just mentioned, but it's too early for him. You know, Maxwell, we have seen at times, every team management is contemplating, shall we send them up the order? Shall we keep him 50 overs? We have seen how Australia have been using him. So that's always a catch-22 situation. And the way he bats, Hardik Pandya, credit to him, the way he bowled those 2 overs, like all the Indian bowlers, they keep putting pressure because it's not easy to give after 4 overs 56, like, you know, 6 over 30. The only way you can do that, when you bowl well, pick up wickets, and I would say a little bit Australia also helped here, especially I see somebody like Steve Smith. Now it was a perfect time, perfect platform, perfect template, like the way he wants to bat. That's what needed this time. That's what team wanted from Steve Smith, which he couldn't do. Now you're in trouble because this is too early for Tim David. Now you have to, that's why when you talk about T20 game, you can't keep going boom, boom, boom all the time. You have to see the situation, you have to see the pitch, and you have to play accordingly. But for Maxwell, see, 11 balls 6, and you can see that, you know, he's not comfortable out there. And these kind of conditions is not easy. You just keep hitting 6s, but you are not used to, you know, like taking those 1 or 2s or 6-run over or 8-run overs. Either it's all or nothing.
Yeah, and that's very interesting because this is a big ground, and Ashish, as Ashish said, if you play smartly and if you take those singles and doubles, you can still build up to a very big score. But Maxwell perished there because of a run out, which was, well, strange because Akshar Patel threw it from the deep and bail was dislodged. Not the bails, but a bail was dislodged. What happened there?
No, you just said no bails. Now see, the rules are rules. And now when you talk about technology, we have seen in last so many years, like now game is evolving, and every time there are new rules are coming. See, olden days, those whales, they were much lighter. You know, like these are heavier whales now. So now both the whales have to come off. And that wasn't the case. I mean, olden days, this was out. And so many times it's, olden days it was not out. Right? Because now the whales are lighter, heavier. So now these days, so many times you see bowlers are like, oh, ball hit the stump so heavy, but still whales didn't come off. So these kind of things we have been seeing again and again when you talk about Hawkeye, when you talk about DRS, when you talk about run out, which we saw yesterday at Lord's, you know. So those kind of things, technology change, but rules are rules. I mean, rules are for both the teams. So these things will happen.
So Ashish, best case from here for India is, of course, keep picking wickets, restrict them to a smaller total. What's the best case for Australia? Tim David and Josh Inglis.
See, best now, where the game is, you will say now you 4 down, you know, you have another experienced guy, man in form, Matthew Wade sitting out. Yes, you can do well, but for that you have to build a partnership. You know, next 4 overs, so you have to take that from 10 overs to 14 overs, and those 4 overs, even if you score 24 runs, that's fine. But at times teams, they don't think like that. And clearly here you're talking about experienced team, champion team, and experienced guy Steve Smith. You know, Maxwell, clearly we could see that he was struggling. Okay, he got out, run out, and it can happen to anyone. But after that, the way Steve Smith also got out, so it was clear that Steve Smith was also in that mindset. The 9 ball 9 run. It's not that Steve Smith was batting 9 balls 2 runs. He's batting 9 ball 9 runs. But you have to be there and perfect platform. Then that time you don't want to lose wickets, but you lost wicket, and see where Australia is right now. India definitely will be looking to restrict Australia even before 170, and that can happen. You know, but for that you have to pick wickets. That's what India has done, and still the mindset. You know, even before Steve Smith got out, when Hardik Pandya was bowling, although they had a great power play to start with, Cameron Green smashed all over the park, but still Hardik Pandya, Rohit Sharma keeping 5 fielders inside the circle. So that shows that they understand, right? They are still attacking. That was great to see.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's as much about the game that's played on the ground as it is here. That's all though on a Cricbuzz Comm Box. Thank you, Ashish, for joining us. Thank you to all of you as well. We'll see you at the end of the innings with Cricbuzz Live.